I just finished watching season 2 of Fallout TV show, and being a huge fan of Fallout series, I thought to myself, why don't I make a review? I mean, I might as well give my opinion about the matter, so that's what we're doing today. I will mainly focus on things that bothered me the most. Going into details, episode by episode, really makes no sense to me, to be honest. Besides, I want to give an overall opinion, not episode per episode basis. There are far too many examples of this particular approach, so I'm gonna do like a general one. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of spoilers, so you have been warned. Right, let's talk about it. First issue I have with the TV series is lack of information. When are these things occurring in the Fallout universe? I think I figured out it's happening after the events of New Vegas, but it's so obscure. Also, it would have been nice to give us some idea about what is the canon ending for the New Vegas game, because I'm mostly asking questions based on what I did in the game. I don't really mind if the canon ending is not aligned with my New Vegas ending, but again, for the sake of clarity, it would be nice to know these things. You know, a line or two would be perfectly fine to give the general information about the current situation. This way, I keep associating my own playthrough as a defined canon. For example, what development led for the members of the Kings to become feral ghouls? Was there some kind of a calamity striking Freeside and then they pulled the short end of the stick? I have no clue. What's happening with the Kaiser's Legion? Given their current predicament, which is some kind of a mini civil war, it seems that the OG Kaiser died, so if you played as a Legion supporter, that means that you didn't heal him, which means that he dies, because of cancer or whatever was plaguing him. Same thing goes for the NCR. Why is NCR in a disarray? Is it because they lost the Battle of Hoover Dam? Or because their capital got nuked? I don't know these things, and since I'm coming from a New Vegas background, again, it would be nice. But for whatever reason, they decided to omit extra details about the general state of the world, and this is the issue that I'm facing. I mean, I can understand for people who are completely clueless about the universe, they don't know nothing, but I played several Fallout games, and for people like me, it would be nice to give us some closure. Second problem I have with the Season 2 is how full of unfinished threads it is. After finishing it, I am stuck with more questions than answers, and to be honest, it's a bit annoying. For starters, what's the deal with the brain chips? Hank activates all of them at the end, and then what happens? Or did he activate only his? What was the goal of the chip anyway? Next, why did the NCR march into New Vegas? Did they get a tip from someone? Did someone ask for their backup? I don't know. Why did Super Mutant save Cooper? Why Cooper's wife and daughter aren't in their cryo chamber? What is the purpose of Liberty Prime Alpha? Wasn't there some kind of a narrative that the original Prime is the only Prime that was ever made, and now suddenly we have blueprints for this Alpha version? Who was Hank talking in the vault? Was he talking to House, or was he talking to somebody else? What I'm trying to say is this. A lot of plot points are left dangling or unexplained. As if this was some kind of a filler season whereby every single conceivable plot thread is uncovered so that they can be explored in the future seasons. In my opinion, this is not the best approach. In comparison with Season 1, we had a very cool plot point with Hank, and that was more than enough. Sure, there were other stuff that were kinda unfinished, but in Season 2, things are all over the place. Third issue is related to Lucy, or to be precise, how dumb she is.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.
I kinda let her dumbness slide a bit in Season 1, given the fact that she was still very new to the wasteland, but my god, that woman has a survival instinct of a plain sack of potatoes. She is pushing that stupid narrative of hers, being kind to everyone, as if she is still operating in a society with norms and all that stuff. And I don't even want to go into this argument, this rabbit hole of she's just doing that because that's how you did it in the game. Shut up. That shouldn't even be an argument to begin with. I mean, why would you ever listen to a guy who has been roaming the wasteland for 200 years. He is a freaking living and breathing encyclopedia. He knows everybody, he knows everything. But that's just a stupid thing to do. Like, why? Why would you do it? I mean, I get it. Everyone is their own person, but at least take his advice into account. For example, she's willing to help that random Legion slave over Cooper. I was actually disgusted a bit. I knew immediately there's going to be trouble because I instantly recognized that woman being affiliated to Caesar's Legion. Not to mention how stupid of you is to abandon your mission to find your father. I thought that was the most important thing, the key character development that she kinda developed after season 1, and now she must go and fulfill stuff. She absolutely has no priorities whatsoever. As if she is a small puppy losing focus as soon as she sees a new thing. I expected for her character to mature a bit, but no, that's not happening. Hell, even at the beginning of the season 2, when she and Ghoul are interacting with the Great Khans, it was obvious to me stuff didn't change for the better. Fourth issue is all about Brotherhood of Steel being bunch of kindergarten spawns that have zero discipline. I mean, come on. Playing hot potato with a live plasma grenade? Really? That's your way of being funny and telling jokes and pushing humor in your series? As soon as I saw that immediately downgraded Brotherhood of Steel in my eyes. I don't even care what happens to them anymore. They deserve to be eradicated if they have that type of an approach. The portrayal of the Brotherhood is extremely unsatisfying. When I remember how things were working in Fallout 4 with Brotherhood of Steel and compare it to the TV series, it's absolutely pathetic. Another example why are they so bad. Why would you ever fight to death and waste a good soldier? Not to mention a knight. Just because it looks okay and cool and maybe gives your character extra character development, you're gonna do it? I don't really understand this. There is absolutely no reason in my mind to justify the behavior of Brotherhood of Steel. They look like shells of their former selves, particularly how it was introduced in Season 1. I don't understand this change in their behavior, and it absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. Fifth issue that I have with Season 2 is all about casting. Culkin and Nanjiani, as far as I'm concerned, are ill-equipped for this. Let's start with Culkin. First of all, to be very blunt, he is too pretty for this role. A Legion soldier, in this case a legate, 100% shouldn't look like that. He should look rough, full of scars, even borderline disfigured from all the fighting. When I saw him remove his helmet, I almost pissed myself laughing. Not to mention, even before removing the helmet, his overall stature was borderline laughable. There were a couple of dudes that are twice his size, and yet for some strange reason he's a superior officer compared to them. I wonder who thought this was a good idea. Don't you remember when you met Lanius in Fallout New Vegas, how terrifying he was? And speaking of that, what the hell happened to him? Did he die? Unbelievable. I don't understand this. Now, Nanjiani, on the other hand, is like rock to me. Every single movie he does that I saw, it's all the same. A Brotherhood Paladin should be much more stoic and disciplined, particularly if he was sent from Maxon. I mean, Maxon doesn't fuck around.
I don't intend to debate this any longer.
If you played Fallout 4, you know what I'm talking about. But no. Nanjiani's character is exact carbon copy of all of his characters, and instead giving something else, he was just being himself at the end of the day. I just wanted him to die as soon as possible so I don't look at his face or listen to his stupid rambling. Thankfully, that did happen, so I guess the damage has been contained. However, I cannot say the same for Culkin's character. Look, I don't blame the actors. If you immediately thought about that, then there's something wrong with you. Both of them, I think they are great, especially their signature role, so to speak. So that's not the issue here. I blame whoever decided to give them that particular role. Unless they knew about the TV series, so they practically begged to be inside.
Let me in! Let me in!
Also, in that sense, I blame whoever decided to write the character Xander in that way. I mean, just remember Paladin Dance from Fallout 4. That's how you do it. That's a proper Brotherhood of Steel paladin. Next issue is connected to the Wall Dwellers and their plot thread. I really don't give two fucks about that particular aspect of the show. Every single time I saw the blue jumpsuits, I was like, God, please, just move forward as fast as you can with the whole plot. Thank you very much. On a more serious note, it seems to me that the whole purpose of that was to introduce Enclave through subtle nudges like future Enterprise ventures, or even more obvious ones, the Enclave-style Pip-Boy, for example. Norm, being the center of that whole plot thread, is also not very bright, to be honest. For example, he discloses stuff about himself to people he never met, namely Claudia, without any care about his surroundings, as if nobody is listening. I mean, come on, man. Was it that hard to get closer to the woman and say things in a more discreet fashion? It's so silly to me that characters are not acting like real people in these situations. As if he lost his mind when he saw her and it was like, oh my god, this is the woman of my dreams and whatnot. I'm gonna tell her everything about myself. Also, how the hell are they raiding a food truck in the middle of LA? What the hell is even that? 200 years after the bombs dropped, and there are still things that aren't looted? Excuse me, but what the hell is even that? Oh my god, when I saw that, I just lost it. Unreal. Final issue that I have with this particular show is the depiction of Deathclaws. I don't mean in a sense that the way they look like, but mostly how they fight. It seems to me that they are so slow. For example, when the Deathclaw was hitting Maximus when he was in his armor, that turn with his tail felt so slow. And when you compare Deathclaws in the game, for example, particularly Fallout 4, and for those of you who played it, or at least most of you who played it, you would have seen it, how agile and fast Deathclaws are, because you immediately face them at the beginning of the game. So this bothered me a lot because while they look cool and they felt cool, no two ways about it, and at the end of the day, the way that they were fighting Maximus, it just felt janky. I don't know how to describe it, but you see it and you feel it's not right. Now, there are other things that I could have added in this review, so to speak, but these are the first ones that came to my mind. Remember, I recorded this immediately after finishing watching the last episode, so this is pretty much what's on top of my head. Also, I don't want to go into deeper lore details because I probably missed some things as well. It would probably take a couple of days to kind of process everything, to go through the wiki and whatnot. That's not the point here. The main point is to give you stuff as is, as I see it, given my personal experiences with Fallout games, the franchise as a whole, and the overall feeling that I have after I watched the episodes. So on that note, what would I say about Fallout Season 2? To be short, too many questions, not enough answers. Basically, go watch Season 3 to maybe get some answers, and then go watch Season 4 to get even more answers. Hopefully they don't introduce more questions in the next season, because that would cause even more issues. So what do you guys think? Am I being overly harsh and critical about these things, or am I making sense? Drop your comments down below. I read all of them and I'm very happy to interact with you guys. And that's it from me. Until the next one.